Amy Ray is my girlfriend. That's what I used to tell people and myself. The Indigo Girls, who are Amy Ray and Emily Salyers, have been the soundtrack of my life since I was 9 years old. In the summer of 1986, I went to summer camp at Camp Cherokee for Girls in the North Georgia mountains, where Emily was one of the counselors. She and others would walk from cabin to cabin at bedtime and sing us to sleep through the window screens. And Emily wrote a song for our camp that went, "How far is it to the stars above? How far does the universe extend? Why is it so important that we love everyone as a friend? These are things we think about each day at Cherokee, to spread the warmth of love and be the best that we can be." The next year, the Indigo Girls' debut album was released. And someone told me, Amy Ray and Emily Salyers are lesbians. And I didn't know what that meant, but I knew from their tone of voice that I definitely did not want to be a lesbian, whatever that was. Fast forward to the summer after 8th grade, walking down the streets of a suburban Atlanta neighborhood with a pack of girls. The Indigo Girls' second album was released the year before, and we are singing the lyrics to Closer to Fine at the top of our lungs. You've seen the Barbie movie, where Barbie and Ken are driving in their convertible through the desert, and they're singing the song too. That's pretty much what we sounded like. You can join in if you want. I went to the doctor, I went to the mountains, I looked to the children, I drank from the fountain. There's more than one answer to these questions, pointing me in a crooked line. And the last I see my source, voice on the minute, closer I am to find, yeah. So every new album the Indigo Girls put out gave me new hope for the fate of the world and my place in it. They sang about social issues, the environment, politics, activism, and love. My senior year of high school, their album Swamp Ophelia was released, and I can see myself driving home from my job at Mario's Italian restaurant in my car, and the windows are down and my hair is blowing. And this is when Amy Ray really took up residence in my head. She would sing, "Touch me, I'm so beautiful. Rub your hands across my head, just like this. Come with me, no, it's not worth it if you don't. Are you hiding? I am hiding." I would rub my own hand across my cheek and imagine that it was Amy. And this was the closest I could get to real affection that I was still afraid of in real life. My college years, their album, Shame on You came out. And that was the first time Amy and Emily were singing explicitly about being attracted to women. And they were singing about the bigotry they had faced as lesbians. Emily sang, "It's all right if you hate that way. Hate me 'cause I'm different. You hate me 'cause I'm gay. Truth of the matter come around one day. It's all right." That blew my mind. I even wrote a paper about it, about the changing times and the changing lyrics in the Indigo Girls songs for a class on gender representation in the media. But we had a long way to go. There was still a long way in the 1990s to embrace same-sex relationships, both for society and for me. Fast forward a decade and a half, and I still could only envision myself marrying a man. So I found the very best one there is and married him in 2012. As time went on, the Indigo Girls helped me get through the loss of my beloved 18-year-old cat. They featured prominently on the playlist I made for myself to listen to while giving birth to my son. They always brought me comfort. But last spring, it was the discomfort they brought me that proved more significant. In March of 2024, the Indigo Girls documentary, It's Only Life After All, came to Cine in Athens, and I made a date with my sister to go and see it. Amy said she was learning so much from the queer artists coming of age today, and the way they were talking in new ways about gender identity. And many of the Indigo Girls fans said how much they appreciated the community that Amy and Emily helped create, and how vital the Indigo Girls' visibility was to their survival. After the movie was over, I asked my sister if we could process it together for a few minutes. So we sat in her minivan in the parking lot behind the Chamber of Commerce building, and I told her, I feel like I need to make a statement about my sexuality. I need to live my truth more openly. And I was thinking in terms of getting a rainbow keychain. Not being too disruptive. I even used the words, it's not like I'm gonna blow up my life. But the Indigo Girls documentary was a powder keg of sorts. I had thought that living vicariously through Amy and Emily and other queer artists was enough for me. I had thought, I don't have to live my life as a lesbian to have everything I want. But seeing Amy be so open to thinking about herself in new ways at this late stage of her life, and seeing, again, the courage of the Indigo Girls and their activism and the importance of queer visibility, that was compelling. And I remembered that I am brave, and I felt like I needed to live my life with greater integrity. So if the Indigo Girls documentary was a powder keg, in the next month, 2 more things happened to make it explode. First, I read the novel, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is about a woman in her late 70s, and the true love of her life, turned out, was another woman. Meanwhile, she had been married to 7 other men along the way. And I had one thought at the end of that novel, and it was, I want a wife. That was the match lit. The second thing that happened was someone close to me died suddenly at the age of 52. I was 47. I thought, if I want to spend the rest of my life with a wife, the rest of my life needs to start right now. That was the fuse lit. A few days later, I sat down with my wonderful husband and broke the news to him. Boom. The last year has been a bit of a whirlwind. We told our families and our friends that we were splitting up and why. We worked together to prioritize our son and maintain our strong family bond while being true to ourselves. And all along the way, the Indigo Girls were playing in the background. So Amy Ray, I no longer have to pretend that Amy Ray is my girlfriend. I live in an apartment decorated in pinks and purples and rainbows like lesbian Barbie. And there's a room with Pokemon and a Pokemon bedroom for my son, of course. My ex-husband is still one of my best friends, and I have a real girlfriend. So I will leave you with lyrics from one of my favorite Indigo Girls songs. Up on the watershed, standing at the fork in the road, you can stand there and agonize fly as the crow flies. Get used to a country mile. When you're learning to face the path at your pace, every choice is worth your while.